I will just remind America, the Bills got as far as at least 7 other teams and got not as far as 4 other teams. I said, Josh Allen has my respect, and more than that, he has instilled fear in me. He's an excellent player whose ceiling is almost as high as the 2 very best quarterbacks in football. I will give him that. But the Bills are being treated by Vegas like they're the 07 Patriots. That means, what this line means, Brew, because I know you're not as big of a gambler as me, is if this game were in Buffalo, the Bills would be 8.5-point favorites over the Los Angeles Rams. So what are they going to be favored in Buffalo when they play the Jets? Was it going to be the Alabama Ole Miss line from a few years ago? They're going to be 18-point favorites against another NFL team? Ben Baldwin showed us this graphic that I saw today that I want you guys to react to, because what Vegas is telling us is that the Bills are far and away the best team in football. And I would just like to have any evidence of that. So that's basically a graph of how much Vegas likes you. Furthest all the way to the left where our bug covers them up is the Buffalo Bills logo. There it is.
You're good.
That the far and away best team in football. What evidence do we have that the Bills are the best team in football? Did they get drastically better over the offseason? Were they the best team in football last year? No. So why are they 2.5? Why are they nearly a field goal favorite on the road against Super Bowl champs? I can't figure it out.
Look, I get the anger. Clearly, you're angry.
I'm not angry
You didn't give us one fact in that whole rant.
Well,
all right, you were upset, and I get it, because the team next to the Bills on that was who? Way down was the Chiefs. And I understand. We know that's your team, and everything goes through that prism, so I understand your anger. But, Nick, they should be favored. This is correct. All right, they have the mental edge over the Rams. All right, the Rams coming off the Super, yes, the mental edge. Why do Tom Brady, who we'll talk about later, and Michael Jordan always look for a mental edge once they're on top? They need some extra motivation, right? I need a slight. I need something somebody said about me. I'm going to make it bigger than life, make a mountain out of a molehill. Because when you are on top, they understand you're not quite as motivated as the guy that's not. And so the Rams don't have the mental edge in this. Buffalo does. That's number one. The rosters. OBJ, he ain't coming through that door, at least not by Thursday. All right, Van Jefferson looks like he won't play. Robert Woods is gone. And Matthew Stafford, with the elbow injury, didn't throw much during training camp, had very little time to get that chemistry with Allen Robinson. Von Miller's gone. Oh, where'd he go to? Buffalo. I mean, so the Bills should be favored. Here's the last point. The Rams were just 5-3 at home last year, 7-2 on the road. Okay, 5-3 at home. They were 1-3 against playoff teams. All right, at home. So there is every reason. And you know I'm facts over feelings.
Yeah, but
these
facts are telling me, Wildes, and we're not doing Super Bowl picks today. But Brew must be picking the Bills to at least go to the Super Bowl. Because if you think if you believe they should be favored on the road against the Rams, what you're saying is what Vegas is saying, that they are clearly the best team in the NFL.
Well, I'm going to tell a little story for our first show here at 3 o'clock. Last night, I've had a little trouble sleeping because we had the morning show, obviously, and we had a lot of things going on. So last night at 3 in the morning, I popped up from my bed like in a cold sweat, and my wife reached over and she said, "Are you okay? Are you nervous about the show?" And I said, "No. I'm nervous about Josh Allen." Okay. I'm terrified. I'm terrified of Josh Allen. Can we see the full screen of the last 6 starts from Josh Allen where he tortured my poor Patriots in the playoffs? 5-1, 314 yards per game. That's running and passing. 17-4 interception to touchdown ratio, passer rating over 100. Now, you got Matthew Stafford's elbow that I would be worried about if I were the Rams.
Yes.
And I understand, but you know what? But he's on the road. Are you sure they're going to be on the road? Are you sure when see that the Buffalo Bills are going to be out in that parking lot, jumping through tables,
No, I'm sure
bringing in Labatt Blue by the pallet load? They're ready to go. And we know that, I know that's like kind of a joke and excuse for me to run the Labatt Blue. By the way, if we ever want to have a sponsorship here, we'd be happy to get in the Labatt Blue business. Matthew Stafford had that silent count last year. It's not out of the realm of possibility that the Bills Mafia fills up that stadium.
You think?
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm going heavy Bills.
Okay.
Terrified of
Heavy Bills.
Heavy Bills.
So here's my thing. Why were the playoff game the Bills lost to the Chiefs? Where was that game? That was in Kansas City, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Coin flip game?
So, yeah, absolutely. That
coin
game.
flip game.
Yeah, the coin flip game.
Okay.
But why I'm not even talking about the result of it. Because the Chiefs had a mediocre year. They were figured out. They were not a juggernaut. So why was that game not in Buffalo? Why this Bills team, that, by the way, lost Brian Daboll this offseason, that, by the way, yes, they added Von Miller. It is a wild contract they gave Von Miller. They think they're getting the Von Miller from 2018.
He was good in the playoffs, though.
He was very good in the playoffs when he has, Aaron Donald, the greatest defensive player in the league, and Jalen Ramsey, the second best defensive player in the league, also maybe attracting the attention of the defense. But Von Miller's first ballot Hall of Famer, and if he has a lot left in the tank, then he might be able to be worth the 6-year, $120 million contract they gave him at 34 years old. Sure. But set that aside. How did the Bills lose 6 games last year? 7 if you include the playoff game. Why were the Bills last year 2-4 against teams that made the playoffs? You wanted some facts, I'll give them to you here. And those 2 were the Patriots, the worst team to make the playoffs, and the Chiefs, who then beat them in the postseason. Sure. And folks, with a lot of the Bills hype, it's like, wow, you have this amazing quarterback in Josh Allen. Agreed. Now, I think the Daboll thing is a concern. But the other thing is, and this great defense. Are we sure it's a great defense?
Wow.
Are we sure
it was a great defense last year? Unless they fall off.
Taylor Heineke, Davis Mills, Mike White, Trevor Siemian, what was left of Cam Newton, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, and Tua Tagovailoa again. That's who 9 of their 11 wins came against. So is it possible that the defense, that when you looked at it, you were like, really? The Bills have the best defense in football? That it wasn't they had the best defense in football? It was that they got 2/3 of their schedule against the worst quarterbacks in the league. Is that possible? And with no Trey White, at least in this game and for the first month, Brew, you're not worried about Cooper Kupp going for $150 on him? You're not worried about the Rams propelling off the momentum of having won the Super Bowl and that home crowd and the banner hanging to beat Buffalo? That doesn't concern you?
No, because those are all, they could bring you down. You could be celebrating. We know that happens all the times when teams get the banners and get the rings, and it's a letdown because you're basking in the glory of what you did a year ago. So, like I said, the mental edge is with the Bills. You mentioned Cooper Kupp. They'll be able to focus on Cooper Kupp because OBJ's not there. Robert Woods isn't there. And we'll see what Robinson can do. I like Allen Robinson, coming off his worst season, though, of his career probably, and hasn't had the time to develop the chemistry with Stafford. So, look, I get it, Nick. You want to bring the Bills down.
No, it's not.
It's understandable.
It has nothing to do with bringing the Bills down.
Kansas City has been far and away the best team in the AFC.
And they might not be this year, but it's not because of the Bills. The Ravens might have caught up to KC, and the Chargers might have caught up to KC. I promise you there's nothing to do with the Chiefs. It's that everyone just remembers the playoffs where the Bills went 1-1, and we're like, oh my God, who's going to beat them? And right now, I think Kansas City is better than Buffalo. I think Baltimore's better than Buffalo. I think the Chargers are better than Buffalo. I think on the other side of the
why do you think the Chargers are better than Buffalo?
Because I think the Chargers made more impactful offseason additions. I think the Chargers were about as good as them last year. They had while the Bills were able to take advantage of what I considered to be, maybe one of the weakest divisions in modern NFL history. The Chargers did not have that ability. And I think the Chargers had some bad luck in the games. You guys don't like their coach. I do like their coach. But so it's not about the Chiefs. It's about the Bills being elevated, Wildes, to a place that I don't know they've earned. I want to ask you, though, one question quickly.
Okay. This is going to be a trick question.
No, it's not a trick question.
It's a trick question on our first show.
I promise you it's not a trick question.
It's going to be a trick question.
I know you don't like when I ask you questions.
I've never heard anything but a trick question.
I promise it's not a trick question. Do you agree with Brew that the Bills have the psychological edge in this game? Because I think it's the exact opposite. I think the Bills are coming off as such a devastating way to lose. Yeah. The NFL was like, we have to change the rules. My God, that's going to stick with you for the rest of your lives. We never want it to happen to anyone else. Forget the fact the exact same thing happened against City 4 years ago. They didn't change anything. Set that aside. The Rams, meanwhile, are coming off winning the Super Bowl. I would not think that the Bills have a psychological edge in that. Brew sees it the exact opposite. Break the tie.
I think I would, if I had to break the tie, I'm going to go with the Bills having the psychological edge.
Yes.
I just think it's
smart, man.
I think it's harder to defend the top of the mountain, and it's more motivating to get to the top of the mountain. The picture of Stephon at the end of the game watching the Chiefs celebrate, man, I think that sticks with them. I think they are on a mission, and I don't know. I agree with a little fat and happy from the defending champs. Granted, last year, Brady came out, but that was a tight game against the Cowboys. Cowboys were like trying to take down the champs. I feel
Chiefs won their home openers, the defending champs. The Bucs won the home openers, defending champs.
know.
It's been a while since we've seen the
Bucs
defending
had trouble,
champs
though.
just get annihilated.
I don't think they'll get annihilated.
Beat badly. In fact, I think it was the Patriots. That was the Brady's done game, I think, is the last time it happened. That was 8 years ago.
They won't get annihilated, just beaten.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, 2.5.
By more than 2.5 points.
2.5 is a totally fair line for that.
Okay. All right. Bills. Everyone's picking the Bills to go to the Super Bowl. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.